After weeks of intense debate and protest leading to its amendment, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday signed the Electoral Act 2026 Amendment Bill into law, setting the legal framework for the conduct of the 2027 general elections. This is also coming just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) unveiled the official election timetable. The new law is expected to introduce adjustments aimed at strengthening transparency, improving logistics, and addressing operational gaps observed in the previous election cycle. Following the latest development with the president sent into the Electoral Act, what is next? What is the future of democracy in Nigeria?
Within 24 hours yesterday, President Tinubu has signed a bill into law. I'm wondering, despite the fact the protest that Nigerian has been doing since, I think, over almost a week, President Tinubu pretended as if he did not see it. That one aside. Another thing is this. I think the whole bill, it was articles by articles, clause by clause. Did he read it at all? The normal process supposed to be, after presenting it to the president from the National Assembly, he should call the Attorney General of the Federation and with some other people to check it, vet it, and things like that. But within short period of presentation, he has ascended to it. I'm just thinking, is President Tinubu really know what it means to be a president? Does he really think about Nigerians? Because maybe, so he concluded that the National Assembly has done the best. The bill does not need to be vetted, does not need to be gone through. So all what is needed is just his signature. A very reasonable president supposed to have a kind of even press conference about it, addressing the nation. Well, it's just my opinion anyway. I'm just thinking.
Sadly, we are going to be haunted by the ghosts of the past because there hasn't been any significant change. Why do I say that? In the past, we're involved in election administration. We saw the use of the card reader and the provision that was made by the commission in case the card reader fails. In case the card reader failed, we used what we call the incident form. The incident form to record an incident. Look, this is a card reader that is supposed to be used for accreditation, but unfortunately it failed. So rather than disenfranchise any registered voter with a valid card, we said fill the form, the incident form, and you're allowed to vote. Now that became the norm. That became the norm because people just ignored the card reader completely and then decided to use the proviso, decided to use that lacuna in the law. With that in mind, if you say transmission failed, then you allow the primary evidence of voting and scores of candidates is on the EC8A, the manual, the paper. Then people will just discard, and your presiding officer comes and says, sorry, the transmission failed. Whether he tried or he did not try, perhaps he has been compromised, he will say it failed, and so collation officer, returning officer, please use my EC8A, use the manual. So that lacuna now becomes, the proviso now becomes the norm. That is our fear, and our fear is borne out by our past, by things we have experienced in the past. So when we say that we should not allow the ghosts of the past come haunting us, unfortunately, we have opened the gates wide open for that to happen. Otherwise, if as an honest presiding officer tries to transmit, and as it's alleged to have happened in 2023, the signals are jammed or they change the code and you cannot transmit. People might, the community, people around there might pounce on you and say, no, you are being funny, you have been compromised, you want to change things. His life, therefore, is actually at risk. His life and the life of all those young Nigerians that are put out on that patriotic duty to conduct the elections, they are now at risk. Even though he's honest, he's played by the rules, he has done everything as expected of him, then or her, then you see his life gets into risk.
Yeah, but I asked you about expectations with the law now in place.
I think that's the point. Expectations, they're not much in terms of expectations. Not much that if you keep doing the same thing and expect a change in outcome, you know the definition of madness. And that is what it is. My expectations and the expectations of many Nigerians are not particularly high. The expectations are that if people would do the right things, but we assume that because of our history, people may just not do the right things. Some people may not do the right things. And because of that, there cannot be a different outcome. We still don't know what happened in 2023 with the presidential results. The National Assembly was fairly okay with the presidential, both conducted on the same day. We still don't know what happened. So what kind of expectations? We don't expect anything different than what happened in 2023. Sad enough.